Rallying is one of the most exhilarating categories within motorsports, involving racing against the clock on tough surfaces like dirt, gravel, and even snow. Drivers and their navigators contend fiercely over long distances, often in harsh environments that are remote from civilization, without any real practice on the stages. Sure, the sights and sounds of rally cars driving on the limit are exciting and breathtaking, but when things go wrong, they can go horribly wrong. In this video, we're going to show you some of the craziest crashes and maddest mishaps that have ever happened in rallying. From airborne cars to fiery explosions, these incidents highlight the risks that drivers and co-drivers face when they step into a rally car. So, fasten your seatbelt and prepare for an exhilarating roller coaster ride. You're watching Racers Reverie, and these are 20 rally moments that went horribly wrong. First up is this crazy crash from the Ashley Forest Rally in 2023 that was miraculously caught on camera from these outrageous angles. This Subaru Impreza was being put through its paces by its driver and navigator on this tricky forest stage, flying through the trees and dancing with the banking right on the very limit of grip. Unfortunately, the driver pushed a bit too hard and overstepped the mark. Entering this high-speed right-hander, the Impreza was sideways and went too wide, heading straight for the banking on the forest's edge. It smashed the ditch, and the car spun instantly and flipped onto its roof. It slid up the stage while rolling uncontrollably numerous times before bashing off a badly placed tree. The car narrowly missed spectators in what could have been a catastrophic crash. Luckily, everyone walked away, but the team was left with a hefty repair bill.
So Dave Ollis looking.
Oh, he's at the bank. He's over. He's rolling. Oh, no. He's barrel rolling it over. So Dave Ollis has come to grief.
This next moment is one of unbelievable drama, yet complete calmness at the same time. During the 1995 Rally Ireland, the entrants took on a stage along the roads of Crossgar, County Down. One driver and navigator pairing were searching for glory and taking on the rally in their trusty hatchback. Spectators found a great spot to get close to the action in the gateway of a house, but on this occasion, they got a bit closer than they would have liked. When approaching the gateway, the car took the jump on the road at over 100 miles per hour, and when it landed, the car's steering broke and locked in one position, sending them hard left into a wall at crazy speed. The photographer moved just in time, and the car missed him by the tiniest margin ever witnessed. The car smashed the wall in an almighty blow, but somehow the photographer was completely unharmed. This is without a doubt one of the luckiest moments in rallying history. What transpired in the Rally Ypres 2023 for driver Stéphane Lefebvre was far crazier than he would have liked, so let's take a look. During the high-speed tarmac stage, Lefebvre and his co-pilot were barreling down the road at crazy speed on this narrow stretch of road. But out of nowhere, disaster struck. Amid a quiet afternoon in the Belgian countryside, Lefebvre's car hit a bump and lost control, flipping the car instantly. It sent it into an unbelievable series of rolls and was flung off the road, all while turning over 10 times before coming to a rest. Bodywork came flying off the car, with parts narrowly missing spectators. But luckily both driver and co-driver were uninjured. It was a reminder that no matter how harmless a rally stage looks, danger is always just around the corner. The Rally Monte Carlo is famous for its treacherous nature, often involving ice, tight stages, and requiring the highest concentration levels of both driver and co-driver, and the 2019 installation of the Rally Classic was no different. Halfway through the stage, Welsh driver Alfyn Evans had to deal with a hazardous turn when his car lost control on the less-than-ideal cold surface. He flirted with the limits of safety and came precariously close to the edge of the road numerous times, but on one occasion he overstepped the line and carried too much speed into the bend, and he drove straight off the side. The car smashed headfirst into a tree with a huge hit, and the two men inside got shaken up like nothing before. Somehow they escaped unscathed from this almighty impact and lived to fight or drive another day. By the way, if you'd like to see more of the best motorsports content just like this, please consider liking this video and hitting subscribe for more quality content. Okay, back to the video. Now, instead of driving headfirst into a tree, Molly Taylor went headfirst into something a bit different in 2018. Let's check it out. The Australian rally driver was partaking in her home event, Rally Australia, when she had this almighty shunt. Near New South Wales on the second stage of the rally, Taylor was in hot pursuit of the stopwatch in her Subaru Impreza. While coming over a blind crest, the car landed awkwardly and snapped, sending her straight towards an unfortunately placed hay bale. She hit it at crazy speed head-on, instantly wrecking her car and punting the bale deep into the forest due to the sheer force of the impact. It sent the car spinning and twisting, coming to a stop almost instantly. It was one of the highest speed crashes from the entire event, and luckily both Taylor and her, courtesy of the FIA, ridiculous rollover occurred in 2015. Robert Consani was piloting his Citroën DS3R5 along the flat-out section of tarmac when he suddenly clipped the grass on the outside of the road, and before he knew it, he and his co-driver were going on the ride of their life. The Citroën went sideways, hitting the grass on the other side of the road, and then took flight. It rolled an outrageous number of times at extremely high speed, shedding body parts with every impact. It flipped end over end in one of the most prolonged and violent rollover sequences in rally history. Now for number 7 on our list, let's check out this extremely lucky crash for Tomasz Kasperczyk during the Rally Islas Canarias in 2017. Kasperczyk created one of the most memorable moments from the whole rally with this incredible crash. His Ford Fiesta R5 was being pushed to the limit on the extremely dangerous mountaintop stage, and unfortunately, he couldn't avoid all of that danger. He took far too much speed into one of the tight right-handers on the top of the mountain and had no hope of making the corner. Instead, his car slid sideways into the metal safety barrier, breaking it off its hinges. Somehow, it didn't snap completely. Instead, it held his car at the very top of the mountain, leaving it dangling off the side while creating one of the most harrowing scenes ever. It was extremely lucky and may have even saved his and his co-driver's lives. Let's head back to Zlín for this next rally moment that went horribly wrong. During the FIA European Rally Championship round of the Barum Czech Rally in 2019, driver Nikolaj Gryazin made a bad mistake. After driving his Skoda Fabia RS on the limit throughout the treacherous town, he took far too much speed through this tight corner and ran wide, and waiting for him was a badly placed metal fence. Gryazin smashed it at huge speed, and it spun his car instantly in dramatic fashion. It destroyed the whole rear section of the car, leaving the wheel and bodywork lying on the road. Luckily, he was okay, and both he and his co-driver walked away unharmed. Let's step back in time for a moment and have a look at a huge crash that took place in the 1986 Rally Wales event. This driver was pushing his Toyota to the limits on this outrageous mountaintop stage, which had absolutely no safety features to prevent a driver from crashing off the mountain. And unfortunately for him, that is exactly what happened. The car completely ran out of traction and veered off the hillside backwards, tumbling and rolling a crazy distance down the stony soil. It fell so far that it could no longer be seen by the camera. The scene at the bottom of the hill showed a completely wrecked car, and somehow both the driver and co-driver got out and walked back up the hill. And while we're talking about unbelievable crashes, here's one that you've definitely never seen before. In 2005, this ambitious driver was taking on a countryside stage rally with his Peugeot 206 rally car, and it's fair to say that he got it a small bit wrong approaching this high-speed section. He drove far too fast and dipped the car off the road, and it couldn't have happened in a worse place. He smashed a piece of earth that sent him straight up into the air in an unbelievable way, spinning and flipping the car in mid-air. It then landed on its roof in a shocking fashion, and the car was completely wrecked when it came to a stop. Is this a contender for the highest a rally car has ever been during a crash? Let us know what you think. We all know that part of the allure of rallying lies in its unpredictability and inherent danger. However, nobody would have expected a crash like this one to be possible. During the Hellendoorn Rally of 2013, one fan managed to catch this crazy crash on camera from driver Harry Kleinjan. Kleinjan was driving his Porsche 964 RSR and made a massive mistake by locking up his tires under braking, and it happened in the worst possible place. Kleinjan couldn't slow down in time and smashed in a concrete barrier, lifting the poor RSR onto its side and snapping both wheels off the left side of the car. It broke two barriers while flying over them, and unfortunately for him, there was a river on the other side. His Porsche was sent flying upside down into the water in one of the most spectacular crashes ever seen. Just imagine how shocked you would be to find yourself upside down and in the water at the same time. Luckily, the driver and co-driver managed to get out uninjured. And while we're on the topic of cars flipping over, this crash from Rally Argentina in 2016 was a display of rally car acrobatics of the highest degree. Finnish driver Jari-Matti Latvala was taking his Volkswagen Polo rally car to the limits of speed and traction across the dusty Argentinian back road. But unfortunately for him, the car was not completely up to the task, as his suspension broke just before he took a high-speed corner. All while he was leading the rally. The Polo's front left wheel came loose, sending it flipping and rolling over multiple times at seriously high speed. The spectacular crash was caught by the helicopter, and the onboard footage shows just how violent it was from inside the car. He and his co-driver Miika Anttila were fortunate to survive this massive shunt with no injuries. America is not best known for its rallying scene that the country has to offer. During Stage 10 of the 2016 100-acre Wood Rally America, this driver was taken for the ride of his life during this insane rollover crash. The Subaru Impreza was driving at almost top speed when it hit a hole in the road, launching it into the air and causing a crazy spin. It rolled countless times and landed on its roof a long way from where the crash started. After a few moments, both drivers got out, all while the car was still on its side. This driver decided to take on the Rally Épernay in France in one of the country's own cars, a Citroën C2 R2 Max, but through no fault of the car, it didn't exactly end well. The driver hit a bump in this French countryside road, causing the suspension to become unsettled and the car couldn't handle it. It threw him off to the left with severe speed, and before he knew it, he was in the field barrel rolling like crazy. The hatchback flipped and rolled an insane number of times, going end over end and being thrown violently into the air at terrific speed, with one extra crazy flip being thrown in for good measure. The car was completely wrecked, but the roll cage could be seen doing its job, protecting the two occupants from serious danger. Irishman Frank Kelly was taking on his home rally, the Circuit of Ireland, in his trusty Ford Escort Mark II in 2023, and it was all going well until it wasn't. There was a very late call by the co-driver to warn Kelly about an approaching left-hander, so when he reached it, he didn't have time to even think about turning left. The car went straight on at top speed and was launched into a dip in the side of the road. It flipped onto its side and made a crazy impact on the ground, throwing it into the air in spectacular fashion. It was one of the most violent crashes from the whole rally, and somehow both Kelly and his co-driver were okay, but the car certainly wasn't. And if you're enjoying this video, please consider clicking like and subscribing for more quality motorsports content. When the driver and co-driver pairing of Lee Gotch and John McCarthy entered the East Coast Bull Bars ARC National Capital Rally in 2013, they were hoping to bring their Subaru Impreza WRX STI home in one piece. But the infamous mineshaft stage had a nasty surprise in store for them. As they approached the most treacherous blind crest on the whole stage, the pair took far too much speed and got some incredible air as they went over the jump. They were greeted with an extreme smash on the landing as the car landed right on its nose, turning it on its side and almost rolling over. It's safe to say they won't make that mistake again. Let's stay in Australia for now and go back in time to 1991, where this spectacular rollover took place, courtesy of Carlos Sainz. Senior, that is. The Spaniard was pushing as hard as ever on the dirt stage 14, gaining time and moving himself up to 5th in the standings. But that was all about to change. As he approached this fast left-hander, he was overly ambitious with his speed and sent himself flying off the road. His car rolled like crazy, flipping 6 times, and if you look closely, you can see Sainz's head hanging out the window and smashing off the ground twice, as the car came crashing down in an absolutely shocking moment. He was taken to hospital for precautionary checks, but he was lucky that he wasn't a lot worse. Another ridiculous moment from the incredible. This time it was Tommi Mäkinen making a Subaru. Halfway through this mixed terrain stage, it was going brilliantly for Mäkinen, who was 3 seconds faster than his nearest rival in the Peugeot. But he threw it all away at the very last corner with this massive mistake. He clipped the banking on the outside of the road and sent himself airborne, turning the car onto its side immediately. It began rolling uncontrollably, with spectators ducking for cover. The Subaru was seen flying spectacularly over the road at a crazy height in the air.
At the midpoint of the stage, the Subaru had been 3 seconds faster than the Peugeot, but then on the very last corner of the stage, it all went wrong in spectacular fashion.
It landed in a ditch and was completely wrecked, handing the stage victory to his rival. But luckily, both Mäkinen and his co-driver Kai Lindström were somehow unharmed. A driver who is perhaps better known for honor, but Travis was a fierce competitor who enjoyed success in many different series. However, one of his less successful days came at the Colorado Cog Rally in 2005. It was round 7 of the Rally America National Championship, and Pastrana was driving his Subaru Impreza on the dirt stage. He misjudged a seemingly harmless corner, but the consequences were huge. Pastrana's car flipped onto its roof instantly and flipped off the road, and barrel rolled through the field for what must have seemed like an eternity to him and his co-driver Christian Edström. The Impreza took a tremendous beating, but did its job in keeping both of them safe. Now get ready, because we've saved what is perhaps Germany in 2004. The Norwegian was attacking the fierce German countryside stage hard in his iconic blue and yellow Subaru Impreza, but he attacked one corner too hard, and it cost him dearly. With too much speed through the corner, the Impreza simply couldn't hang on and crashed heavily into the ditch. It instantly shattered the windscreen and caused the car to turn over, smashing every part imaginable as it rolled across the road at high speed. The aftermath provided an incredible scene, with the roof of the car completely caved in. How on earth Solberg and his driver Phil Mill survived that crash, nobody knows, making it go down as one of the most unbelievable wrecks in WRC history. So there we have it, 20 rally moments that went horribly wrong. We've shown you some crazy crashes and brutal blows, proving that no matter if it's a local rally or a World Rally Championship event, drivers of all skill levels make mistakes. However, the great thing about rallying is that despite all the destruction, disappointment, and dreadful repair bills, the resilience prevails as crews rebuild, drivers refocus, and the rally spirit lives on. Let us know in the comments which of these moments you thought was the most spectacular, and tell us if we missed any. Please smash the like button and subscribe for more motorsports content. This has been Racers Reverie. See you in the next video.
Police work is filled with unpredictability, where routine encounters can quickly escalate into life-threatening situations. From high-speed chases with heart-stopping near misses to situations with split-second decisions that mean the difference between life and death. These are moments when law enforcement officers had to make life-altering decisions in a split second, some resulting in tragic outcomes during vehicle pursuits. On the ordinary night of September 15, 2023, Trooper James Killian found himself patrolling Interstate 430 in Little Rock, Arkansas. The events unfolding that night would thrust his partner's life, Trooper Austin Duncan Flemister, into a life-or-death decision-making moment. Around 11:31 p.m., as Trooper Killian monitored the quiet highway, his attention was drawn to a silver Hyundai Tiburon, registered to Brent Ellis. Brent was tailing another vehicle too closely in the middle lane. After signaling Brent with his lights and siren, Brent began to accelerate and passed a van on the right shoulder. Upon noticing Brent's car swerving, Trooper Killian activates his lights and sirens while the chase intensifies. Trooper Killian observed a female passenger who appeared visibly frightened, especially when the car accelerated in response to his signaling for a stop. Just a few minutes before Brent fled away from him, Trooper Killian attempted to position himself on either side of Brent's car fender for a maneuver called a TVI, Tactical Vehicle Intervention, or pit maneuver. This is a controversial law enforcement tactic designed to spin out the vehicle and end the pursuit. Brent abruptly veered off Interstate 430, taking a sharp bend onto South Shackelford Road. This is South Shackelford Road in broad daylight, where the rugged road is clearly seen. But Brent seems to want to ride this roller coaster through the intersection. Brent diverted across Shackelford Road and then back onto Interstate 430 north. It appeared that Brent might have reconsidered his initial plan to lose Trooper Killian on Shackelford Road and instead opted to gain more speed on the interstate. Perhaps he assumed that the open stretches of the highway would offer a better chance to make a successful getaway. Brent made his way down Interstate 430 north and then entered Interstate 630 west, but quickly changed direction, maneuvering eastward in a westbound lane. Brent, now reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone, was weaving across all lanes of travel, trying to avoid oncoming traffic. Recognizing the imminent danger posed by Brent's driving, Trooper Killian wisely decreased his speed and shifted to the shoulder for safer travel. Why is Brent taking such a huge risk for what could be a simple traffic stop? But a second unit behind Trooper Killian was more daring, actively trying to join in on the chase. During this critical moment, another vehicle pulled over right in front of Trooper Killian. At this point, the troopers have to decide if the risk of pursuit outweighs the risk of trying to navigate oncoming traffic on the interstate. Trooper Killian communicated with Trooper Duncan, who was heading toward the chase on I-630 and positioned a few exits ahead. It was time for Brent to face the consequences of his actions, and the events that unfolded next were truly terrifying.
Just past University, still westbound. Excuse me, eastbound in the westbound lane. Control can't get him stopped, 10.2 to it. I'm gonna take 42, he's too far ahead.
Brent, who was traveling in the opposite lanes of travel down the I-630 west, was spotted by Trooper Duncan from a distance. Without hesitation, Trooper Duncan swiftly executed a TVI maneuver on Brent, who was traveling over 100 miles per hour. Both Brent and Trooper Duncan were in grave danger. Many may question Trooper Duncan's intent in driving toward a head-on collision. Maybe Trooper Duncan thinks Brent is going to continue in the fast lane and he can turn to follow Brent, but Brent hasn't been making any good decisions so far. Trooper Duncan didn't expect Brent to turn towards him, and they narrowly missed a head-on collision.
I hit him with a rock. I hit him. Get on the ground. 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 He's in the woods. Get on the ground. I'll f*** you. Get on the ground.
The driver, Brent Ellis, putting on a blue shirt, jumps out first, leaving his passenger, Karen Sanders, in the car. He began to flee onto a golf course. Meanwhile, law enforcement swiftly intervened, placing Karen in handcuffs. Adding a layer of complexity, Karen, who identified herself as pregnant, denied any knowledge of Brent and claimed to have been picked up at the Broadway Walmart. As the chaos unfolded, the Little Rock Police Department successfully located Brent lying down in a wooded area with the help of their faithful canine companion, Chico. Canine Officer Chico is now retired, following a long career that included 1,293 arrests and seizures of 126 vehicles, 108 firearms, and over $647,000 in cash. He and his partner, Corporal Cody Elliott, did their part in taking illegal narcotics off the streets. During the encounter with Trooper Killian, Brent admitted to consuming a dangerous cocktail of substances, including fentanyl, heroin, and meth. In a disturbing discovery, he expressed a lack of remorse, stating that he wished he had caused harm while driving the wrong way on the interstate. It is noteworthy that Trooper Duncan, despite the imminent danger, skillfully intercepted Brent, and maybe with a bit of luck, prevented any further harm and ensured the safety of both himself and others on the road. Reflecting on the severity of the situation, you can only speculate how dangerous this could have been had Trooper Duncan not intervened in the unconventional way he did. The collective efforts of law enforcement undoubtedly averted a potentially tragic outcome. Brent Ellis was charged with battery in miles per hour, one high Sierra chase, led the Arkansas Dangerous. Police speeds over 120 miles per hour and included multiple TVIs before ending in a messy wreck. On May 20th, 2023 at 3:21 p.m., Arkansas State Police Trooper Jackson Shoemate initiated a traffic stop on a black GMC Sierra. The vehicle was known to be driven by 42-year-old Christopher Monroe. Arkansas State Police said before this chase that Christopher was already wanted for drug traffic charges out of Sherwood, Arkansas. On May 4th, 2023, he fled from Arkansas State Police before doing the same thing on May 19th. 10 days prior, police in Rockwell County, Texas put out a warrant for Christopher's arrest for evading in a motor vehicle. After troopers confirmed that it was Christopher in the vehicle, as they saw him in Arkansas, troopers attempted to box Christopher in. They wanted to coordinate this approach, but they would soon find out that Christopher was not going to make it easy. With a swift maneuver, Christopher steered around the shoulder and past Trooper Anna's patrol vehicle as she attempted to block him with her vehicle, surprising everyone by escaping after the trooper's plan failed.
Oh, that's a male right there. That's a male. Photographer 252 to Black GMC Sierra. 29 field check. Yeah, he's clean. Got it. Clear out volume 7,000 for out of 22, out of 29, southbound. We were trying to catch up to a black GMC with a 175 on the exit. Information, you ran my vehicle through the 67 south at 15.
Trooper T. Van Schoik attempted the second TVI as he took the primary position in the pursuit, but he ended up failing, sliding into a concrete barrier. Thankfully, no other cars were around at the time. Despite these unsuccessful efforts to halt Christopher, the pursuit continued, with his speed climbing to 100 miles per hour. There was one more person Christopher hadn't outsmarted, Trooper Jackson Shoemate, who immediately took the lead in the pursuit and had to floor it to catch up with Christopher. While driving through downtown Little Rock, Christopher attempted to escape Trooper Shoemate by navigating from Fort Smith, giving the impression of intending to take an exit towards Memphis. However, as soon as he noticed Trooper Jackson moving into the same lane, Christopher swiftly changed course, almost leading Trooper Shoemate onto the exit road. Christopher showed his slick driving skills, but Trooper Shoemate wasn't going to be fooled by the first move. Trooper Shoemate accepted this challenge and continued the pursuit. chase kept going, reaching US 167 in North Little Rock and heading down to the North Little Rock School District. Christopher was speeding at a whopping 100 miles per hour as he zoomed through traffic, skillfully dodging between cars. Meanwhile, Trooper Shoemate slammed the brakes hard and fishtailed in an effort to avoid rear-ending a driver in front of him.
Make it drive.
Shoemate was shade traffic stopped highway and troopers. There's been a lot of trips at his tree slows on exit. He got caught. Trooper Shoemate predicted Christopher's moves and radioed ahead to Trooper Briggs, who got the call to intercept Christopher. Trooper Briggs rushed to Roosevelt Road from I-30 Frontage Road in Little Rock, and he got there just in time to see Christopher fly by. Trooper Briggs, too, accepts the challenge and takes the primary position in the chase.
Westbound on Roosevelt.
I'm primary westbound Roosevelt.
They called now. Primary westbound on Roosevelt.
Got him for you, I'll call it now. Speed 90.
Speed 90.
Passing main.
Passing main.
Going up the arch.
Going up the arch.
Passing Izzard Street.
Passing Izzard Street.
Looks like we're going to be going south on MLK. Sorry, I got cut off. I'm trying to catch back up.
Eastbound Roosevelt. Eastbound Roosevelt. Eastbound on Roosevelt.
Got it.
Get roll over.
Christopher, with all his deceptive moves, seemed to be running out of options. However, in a crucial moment, he made a wrong decision that proved to be his defeat. Christopher makes a U-turn at the Express Mart convenience store and travels back on eastbound Roosevelt. The trailer hitch of the truck got caught in the front bumper railing of the pursuing patrol vehicle and forced the truck to turn over and crash. As Trooper Briggs executed this rather unconventional pit maneuver to stop Christopher's escape, he came dangerously close to flipping his own patrol car. You can see that Trooper Briggs experienced quite a significant amount of force, indicated by the small cooler bag in the back of his patrol car. The risky pit maneuver executed with such speed brought him dangerously close to flipping as well. But clearly, Trooper Briggs is alright, as he's the first one out of his patrol car and ready for action, running across the street to arrest Christopher.
I'm trying to catch back up.
Eastbound Roosevelt, eastbound Roosevelt.
Eastbound Roosevelt.
Got a pig, got a rollover.
Hit and roll over.
I got it. Hey, man, I can't go that way, man. Hey, this is the way you go. Give me your hand! Twist my arm around, dog! Right there. We're good. Get up. Get your up.
Real dangerous.
My leg broke, bro. Get up! My leg is broke! Up! Ow!
Oh, I got it. Let's go.
Come here. Hey, stand him up, make one there. I check it. We're up in the car right now. Get the road clear. Get up! Come up! Get in there! All right, go to the other side, pull his ass in.
Police apprehended Christopher, pulling him from the vehicle while he claimed a broken leg. Sometimes these claims can be fake, and that's why officers ignore his plea. Their adrenaline is running high as they have some choice words for Christopher. He's taken into custody, and a search of his truck uncovered a significant stash of illicit substances, including 64 grams of ecstasy, 100 grams of meth, 436 grams of cocaine, 89 grams of fentanyl pills, 182 grams of marijuana, and 12 grams of heroin. Additionally, a Taurus handgun, assorted drug paraphernalia, and $8,612 in cash were found among Christopher's possessions. Christopher Monroe was charged with trafficking fentanyl, trafficking cocaine, possession with intent to deliver ecstasy, heroin, meth, cocaine, marijuana, and Xanax, fleeing, simultaneous possession of drugs and firearms, unauthorized use of property, aggravated assault on law enforcement, possession of a firearm by certain persons, possession of drug paraphernalia, and various traffic charges. While the rollover was not deliberate, it was risky, but the adrenaline of the chase can often cloud judgment or even heighten other senses. Ending a car chase abruptly or continuing it both have risks involved. This is why law enforcement agencies
One suspect, with an extensive and violent criminal history, shoots at police in Minnesota, only to get released, steal a cop car, and start shooting at police all over again.
I've lost my radio.
Around noon on March 16, 2020, officers were called to a Walmart in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, to investigate some potential shoplifting, along with the purchase of a suspicious amount of ammo. From the surveillance footage, the suspect in question can be seen paying cash for an item in the electronics section of the store. However, it is worth noting that this individual has a criminal history of counterfeiting. In fact, at the time this video was recorded, he had just served a several-year-long sentence for counterfeiting. He was also charged with the illegal possession of a firearm and for possessing at least 6 grams of cocaine, heroin, and/or meth. After filling up his cart past the brim, the suspect walks himself to the self-checkout lane. Here, suspected accomplices can be seen. When the suspect walks out the door to leave, he is confronted by police, and the following scene unfolds.
Down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground right now! It's shooting!
Pilot 33, shots fired, Walmart parking lot.
Shots fired, Walmart parking lot. Go by.
You okay, Cut? Yeah, I'm good, I'm good.
Getting y'all. Stay focused.
Where is he? You okay? Stay down! Get down! Don't you get down on the ground right now! Down on the ground!
While one officer pursues the shooter, this officer orders the two suspected accomplices to get on the ground.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands up!
After the incident, the shooter was sent to the hospital to recover from his injuries, which were not fatal. No other injuries were reported. While court documentation for this incident is not readily available, news sources indicate that the shooter was charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, particularly the use of deadly force against a peace officer, and 1 count of possession of ammunition or a firearm as a convicted felon. 2 additional charges were filed against the suspect months later for the same incident. He was charged with second-degree assault and first-degree robbery for pointing his gun at a woman in an alleged attempt to carjack her during the shooting. Take note of this dark form of foreshadowing. The sentencing results of this case have become moot after the suspect posted bail in April of the next year and would be involved in another incident with police. On May 19, 2021, the suspect was stopped during a routine traffic violation in Utah. At the time, he was traveling with a female in the passenger seat. The traffic violation eventually led to enough suspicion for the officer to conduct a search of the vehicle. The officer calls for more squads to arrive on scene. The officers are unaware that the suspect is out on bail for shooting at officers in Minnesota.
So do you have any other idea? It's probably a little car. Based on the stories, nothing that that ID doesn't even look like her at all. Just so you know, he's consented to a search of the vehicle, okay? Is there anything illegal in the vehicle that I need to be aware of before we sign it? No marijuana, methamphetamine, guns, bombs, heroin. You need gloves? You want gloves?
During the search, the officer had the suspect sit in the passenger seat of his cruiser without handcuffing him. News sources indicate that 9 pounds of methamphetamines were found in the suspect's vehicle, along with a 9mm handgun.
Got a meth pipe. You got gloves by chance, extra gloves? Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not her, not even a little bit. No. Why don't you just watch her? Yeah, I'll watch her. Stay there. Hey, he's taking your car. Hold. There. Hey, he's taking your car. Hold. Ridgeville 569. I'm going to be going 1080 with a suspect. He has stolen the K9's vehicle. He is in a police vehicle. We are 202 northbound.
Yes, you heard that correctly. There is a K9 police dog in the patrol vehicle that was stolen.
Officer, unit is busy for 1080 202 northbound, suspect taken off in a police K9 vehicle, 1618.
Rachel 249, I copied that Canadian, advise 13. I'm listening. What kind of vehicle is it?
This is one Oscar, I believe it's one Oscar 9 or one Oscar 10's police unit. They're taking the 202 exit. Do I have permission to continue?
Requesting permission to continue taking 202 exit.
Police vehicle affirmative.
10-4, looks like he's just stopped right here at the stop sign at the 202.
Copy, stopped at 202, 1620.
Rachel, we're out with
324, 1620.
Rachel 13, I'm headed that way.
He's got a gun.
The gun the suspect is shooting at the officers with is the police department's rifle from the cruiser.
He's got his rifle. Oh, shit. Shot. Shots fired. I've lost my radio.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. We got cars coming up.
Yeah.
I don't have a radio.
I'll get in your car. Ridgeville 569, shots fired, shots fired.
Copy, shots fired, 1622, everyone okay?
Affirm he's attempting to steal someone's vehicle. Go, 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 go!
The pedestrians pulling up to the scene discover a true nightmare. The shooter attempts to carjack their vehicle, walking right up to the passenger side window.
Richfield 569, he's attempting to steal a civilian's vehicle right here. He has a county's rifle.
Put the gun down!
Drop the weapon!
Put the gun down!
569 vehicle description, he's trying to steal.
It's a white mid-size SUV.
Copy, all units white mid-size SUV, he's trying to steal. 1623.
We're right here at the 202 by the stop sign. Richfield 569, be advised there are vehicles on the northbound off or on ramp parked to the side.
Vehicles on northbound on ramp parked to the side. 1623.
Put the gun down! Put it down!
Reports indicate that a female driver, unaware of the situation, slowed down to see if the shooter needed help. The suspect reportedly pointed his rifle at her head and told them if they did not transport him, he would kill them. The driver's significant other made the decision to hit the barrel of the rifle away. The suspect would then pull the trigger and fire it into the center of the dashboard. This caused the car's OnStar system to activate, temporarily disabling the SUV. They quickly restarted the car and sped away. However, the suspect kept firing at them, causing a bullet to go through the passenger's leg. This is unknown to the officers in the moment.
Back behind the car.
I see it. You got your shotgun?
It's in the front.
What's that?
I think I hit his leg.
Gotcha.
The officer did indeed hit the suspect in the leg.
13569, he was firing at that civilian vehicle. They're stopped. I don't know if they're hit or not. He's hunkered down behind county's vehicle right now. I got movement back passenger side, driver side, rear driver side. Show me your hands! Show me your hands! He's behind that tire. Was that you? Movement. Back down the ravine to the east.
As the officers recoup from the situation, it appears another civilian drives by the stolen cruiser.
Leave! Get out of here! No, not that way!
Also, unit, advise airmen to 10-0
Time suspect, reportedly, call in Time passes, and officers call in Utah's SWAT team equipped with an armored truck to approach the suspect. Reportedly, he was still able to run off to a nearby river, and a search was initiated. However, he was soon found and detained. There were no casualties during this incident. The passenger shot in the leg, and the suspect were both medically treated. For this incident, the suspect was charged with 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping and 1 count of aggravated robbery, 2 counts of theft, 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a restricted person, failing to respond to a police officer's command to stop, and altering the number or mark on a gun. His passenger was also charged with several crimes. For his crimes, he was sentenced to a 25-year
possession of drug paraphernalia, and various traffic charges.
Rallying is one of the most exhilarating categories within motorsports, involving
What were Hitler's horrific plans if he had beaten the Allies in World War II? Despite the many modern problems of today, the world is a far better place than it would have been under the evil reign of Hitler. The Nazis first wanted to destroy who they deemed as undesirables, including Jews, Gypsies, and Slavs, in order to create so-called living space for the Germans. It is believed Hitler wanted to maintain the British Empire as a seafaring ally, although other accounts suggest that he wanted to enslave and wipe out 80% of the populations of France and England. The Nazis encouraged Aryan women to have many children, with Himmler envisaging a German population of over 300 million by 2000. Africa was to be split in 3, between fascist Italy in the north, Germany in the center, and a puppet government in South Africa. Japan and Germany were to split Asia in half. Hitler spoke little about invading the continental USA, but he rejoiced in the idea that an Axis-allied England would march with Germany against America. What were Hitler's horrific plans if he had beaten the Allies in World War II?  1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119. 120.
The saddest rap verses that you will ever hear, part 1. Juice WRLD in his heavily underrated song Fast gave us all a deep dive into his mind and how he truly was feeling.
I've been through so much, I'm 19 years old, it's been months since I felt at home, but it's okay cause I'm rich, psych, I'm still sad as a bitch, right, I don't want nobody to think that I'm an asshole, I don't mean to be mean on purpose, I promise, my mama told me better than that, I'll be honest, blame it on his drugs and the life I'm involved in.
The saddest rap verses that you will ever hear, part 1. Juice WRLD in his heavily underrated song.
Whoosh, my man, see me if
Euphoria.
everything they say about me's true.
Everything they say about me's true.
This guy wanted to show how clean his car is, and what's about to happen in this video is something you would never see coming.
Talk to me, boy.
This guy
This clumsy soldier claimed to be a sharpshooter, but the Soviet soldiers thought he was lying. So they gave him a sniper rifle to test his words. After examining the rifle, the soldier returned it, stating that this weapon had a short range. He requested the best sniper rifle. Captain was slightly astonished by his knowledge. Captain then took out a can of food and instructed his subordinates to place it on a wooden stick 500 meters away. After the signal was given, his subordinates moved away from the can. Quickly, the soldier knelt down and aimed at the can, then shot. He was very confident, but the can was still intact. Captain concluded that the short soldier lacked skill and was good at lying, yet the soldier remained confident. He claimed that he wasn't shooting the can, but had hit a squirrel 800 meters away. Captain told him to stop boasting. What will happen next? Don't forget to subscribe.
Why does the Air Force allow even the nastiest call signs? Every fighter jet pilot must have a call sign. If you are not getting one, it means you're weird or no one likes you enough to give